Going to take a look at our Mighty Memoir. I'm going to go over it again. I know we started going over it the other day, but I wanted to make sure there was a video of all of this so that you had everything together. I'm gonna go kind of quickly through the first part of it because we've already gone through it, but you'll have this packet with you so you can look at it anytime that you want to. I just wanted to make sure that we're going through this together. Okay, so as you can see on the screen, our inspiration is the one and only Ivan. And the one and only Ivan is the novel that we're going to be reading. And you'll find out this year that through our novel studies, we are going to learn everything. We're going to learn about social studies and science. But we're also going to do our writing that connects, and we're going to do a lot of other things that branch off because I'm going to integrate everything into what we're doing. So that is our inspiration, and our purpose is to not only read the novel, but write a memoir. And through that memoir, we're going to start building towards better sentences, better paragraphs, and we're going to be building towards solid word choice and revising and editing and 1,000 other things connected to writing. The one thing about this, and you know I read this quote again, I'm not going to read it to you here. Go ahead and read it yourself. But I'm going to go ahead and highlight the quote on page 1 that means the most to me. You'll hear me say this all year, but please, please, please give yourself permission to write about yourself and have a good time doing it. It is the key to writing. We will teach you serious ways to write, but you always have to find who you are in that writing piece. And I'm going to teach you how to do that this year just by having fun doing it. So this project, it's a big project, but it's meant to be fun too. I want you to have fun with it. So I want you working on this project through the entire process. Don't wait. Have fun. Draw that fun out, okay? You're gonna have about 5 weeks to complete this project. Maybe less, maybe more, probably right on 5 weeks. And it's plenty of time as long as you tend the garden, tend to the writing, all right? Here are your requirements. There are 20 choices. You are going to choose at least 10. 10 can get you the S+. You're gonna choose those 10 topics. You're gonna write 1 paragraph each. Just 1 paragraph, that's all you're allowed to do, not 2 paragraphs, 1 paragraph. You have to give clear paragraphs about your thoughts, your feelings, your likes, your ideas. Each paragraph is to include a catchy beginner, topic sentence, 3 elaborating details, and a concluding sentence. We will go over what a catchy beginner is. I call them leads. That'll be our newspaper term. We'll talk about the topic sentence. We'll talk about how many elaborating details for the S+, and how many elaborating details for those of you that really want to push to get that E. And of course, we'll work on concluding sentences, which a lot of kids think are the toughest things to write. I agree. So we're going to work on those together. Each paragraph, you have to have a photograph that goes along with that. Thankfully, you have your iPads right with you. This can be something that doesn't take a whole lot if you really plan it out. You can do drawings, but remember, good drawings take a while. And I'm not expecting museum quality, but I am expecting you to work hard on those. And to do 10 pictures, that's a long time. Even to do a couple of pictures, where a photograph doesn't take nearly as long. You are going to be making a PowerPoint. Normally we do photo albums for those of you who have had me in the past, but because we're trying to avoid using things that we pass around right now, we're just going to be doing these in a PowerPoint, and I will get creative as we go. And at home, if they want to push for an E, there will be a photo album aspect of this that they can do on their own once this gets turned in. I think that is prized possession for many, many kids. So if you want to do a photo album like we've done in the past, I think I would definitely accept that. but that would be something that you do on your own. Okay, so those are the requirements. There's going to be a lot to this unit that will be graded as in terms of paragraphing, but that's the main idea. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to look at your 20 choices that you have, starting with your nickname page. And I'm not going to read the Ivan part because the Ivan part is, we've yet to read it. So try not to read that yet. We'll read those as we get to these paragraphs. That way we'll have read the parts before we actually read that so we don't ruin the book. So topic number 1 is my nickname page. Obviously, if you have a nickname, this would be right up your alley. If you don't make one up, unless you want to tell that story. This page should describe how you were given a nickname and how you feel about the nickname itself. Okay, so that's my nickname page. What I was born to do page. This is something, I'm not saying this is what you're gonna do. As kids, we all have like the dreams that we think are how we are going to be when we grow up. Like, are we going to be an astronaut, or are we gonna be a fireman, or are we gonna be a teacher, or are we gonna be an electric guitar player for a rock and roll band? Still hoping. So this page should explain what you think you were born to do because it's in your genes, it's in your DNA, okay? It's something you were meant to be. And obviously it doesn't have to be what you turn out to be. You're just making a guess. So number 2, what I was born to do. Number 3, every kid can write about this. What I fear the most. I know there's some fearless kids out there, but there's always something. For me as a kid, I played sports, I did lots of things. I was afraid of 2 things. I was afraid, 3 that I can remember. I was afraid of the dark, and I told most of you that story. I was afraid of spiders. I still haven't told you that story yet, but I'm gonna be writing about it soon, so you'll hear about it. And I was afraid of getting hurt. I did not wanna get hurt, especially when I was playing sports. So those were my 3 fears. This page should describe what frightens you most. So think about what scares you, okay? Number 3, what I fear most page. Number 4, my favorite gift page. And we just wrote about this with a quick write. You could grab that and plug it in here. This page should describe a gift that is most special to you. And I told you the story about the baseball that I got autographed one day when I was at a Cleveland Indians game, when a player took it and got all the Oakland A's to sign the baseball for me and then gave it back to me, and then my grandpa signed the ball. And I got so mad at my grandpa. And then he passed away like 6 years later. And probably 3 or 4 years after he passed away, I looked up at that baseball sitting on my shelf and I saw his name. I started crying, realizing I didn't care about any of those Oakland A's players. I had my grandfather's signature, and I ended up naming my son after my grandfather, partially because of that moment, that seeing his name, J.J. Pete. I knew that I wanted my son to have his name. So your favorite gift could be something from Christmas, or it could be something that like pulls on those heartstrings. My favorite gift page, go deep for that. Number 5, my bad habit that I can't seem to break. This page should describe your bad habit, explain why this habit is too difficult to break. I mean, for me, it's, if you look at my nails, it's always my nails, always. I chew on them all the time. I'm always thinking, and when I think, it's a habit. I just can't break it. So think of a habit that you have, my bad habit that I can't seem to break. Yeah, I think we all have a lot of funny little habits. Some of us talk out. Some of us, I don't know, like I curl my hair. Some of us have twitches. There's all kinds of different kinds of habits. All right, we move on to the next page. Number 6, my proudest moment page. This page should describe a time in your life that you were proud of yourself for achieving or reaching a goal. For me, the first one that pops into my mind is becoming a teacher, because I never in a million years thought I was going to become a teacher until I was 24 years old and I was coaching basketball. And I realized that I liked working with the kids more than I liked coaching basketball. So I went back to school to be a teacher. When I got that job, I was really proud of that. When I was a kid, I was proud of lots of things. I won the Pinewood Derby at Scouts, and then I went to the next regionals, I think was next, and I won that. And I wasn't able to go to states, but I would have won that too. But I was proud of that too, just kind of thinking of some kid things. So think of a proud moment, you know, something that you were really proud to do. And it doesn't have to be big. It can be something like inside. It can be, you know, I was proud that I passed this certain level in ST Math. It can be, I'm proud that I went to 4th grade and I was able to overcome my fear of talking, and I talked to Mr. Hutch and Mr. Pete, that kind of thing. I mean, they can be little victories too. Number 7, pretty self-explanatory, my favorite TV show, movie, YouTube page. Obviously, a lot of you watch YouTube channels. That's fine as long as it's parent approved. If you have a favorite movie, if you have a favorite TV show, this is one that most kids can do. Just think of something and describe it and tell me, like, why is it your favorite show? Like, when do you watch it? Do you binge it? Like, do you watch it with other people? Do you know other people that watch it? Who are the stars? This is one that you can do a ton with. So my favorite TV show, movie, or YouTube page. Number 8, also self-explanatory, my favorite fruit or food page. The page should describe your favorite fruit or food. I mean, you know, when I was a kid, my favorite fruit was grapes, and it still is. When I was a kid, my favorite food was spaghetti, and it still is. I do like some other things, though, that are right up there with spaghetti. Oh, my favorite TV show when I was a kid. Star Trek. I was a big Star Trek fan when I was a kid. There's this other show called Space 1999 that I remember that I liked a lot. My favorite movie when I was a kid, I loved Herbie the Love Bug movies. I loved them all. And my favorite YouTube page, there was no YouTube. There was not even the internet. I'm so old. Number 9, my curiosity page. This page should describe something that makes you curious. You know, really easy for me, and a lot of kids pick this. It's the space. I'm so curious about it. Is there another planet somewhere where there are people or beings walking around wondering if there's another planet somewhere where we might be? I hope that I live to see that someday, and I wonder if UFOs are real and that kind of thing. So my curiosity page would be all about space. The ocean is another thing for me. So number 9, my curiosity page. Number 10, my home page. This page should describe your favorite aspect of your home. And, you know, it can be all about your home. It can be about a room in your house. It really, like, talk about what makes it your home. Like, for me, it's just all the things that we do there with my family. We have family night and Thanksgiving and opening presents and just hanging out and cooking dinner and helping each other with homework and all those things that we do in our backyard. We have a fenced-in backyard, and we love playing fetch with the dogs, and it goes on and on. So that's number 10, all right? Go ahead to the next page, my best talent page. This page should describe your best or unusual talent. So, you know, I think one year someone wrote about doing armpit farts. Don't know that I would have approved of that, but I loved the creativity. We have some double jointed people who can do some pretty cool and amazing things. We have people with YouTube channels. We have wonderful athletes and wonderful dancers. We have people who can write really well. It doesn't have to be a talent that other people think you have. It's an internal talent. It's something that you think you have, okay? Be creative with that. So number 11 is my best talent page. Number 12, my calming activity page. This page should describe something you do to calm yourself. And I think that for me, it's always been sports. Right now, it used to be running, but I have gotten out of that habit, so I'm working back into it. So I do take long walks. That's one. Writing and reading have always been big for me. Playing golf has always been big for me, or playing the guitar. Often, if you come by here on a Saturday and you listen really close, I usually have my electric guitar plugged in. I'm usually playing it really loud because no one else is in the building. So number 12 is my calming activity page. Number 13, the most patient person I know page. This page should describe a person that you feel is important, okay? And it should be that you feel is patient. I'm sorry, not important, patient. Well, they're probably important too. So who is that person? And I want you to think carefully about this one, because if you pick mom or dad, there's a couple that you can't do later on. So try to maybe think outside the box for this one, because you're only allowed to write about one topic per paragraph, okay? So we'll get to that in a second. So think about somebody who's patient, who will put up with you, is another way to say it. There are lots of people. Honestly, Mr. Hutch is one of the most patient people that I know. My daughter says I'm one of the most patient people she knows. It's very strange. She's a very impatient person. My son is a very patient person. My father is a very patient person. So the most patient person that you know. Number 14, my loving mother page. Obviously, this could be your mom. If you don't live with mom for whatever reason and you wanted to write about a grandmother or an aunt, or let's say that you wrote about your mom as my patient person and you want to write about another female in your life that is super important to you. You can't do the same for both because it's really hard to come up with two different paragraphs about the same basic topic. So this page should describe your mom or grandma or aunt or somebody who takes care of you in some way, who is a female. My loving mother page. Number 15, my lonely page. This page should describe a time you felt lonely. It could be anything. It could be because your friends are playing with other people. It could be because you, like, something sad happened and you just feel like you need to be alone. We all have those. I remember when my best friend found another best friend when I was like in 2nd grade. That was tough for me to figure out. I had to figure out how to make other friends and then figure out how to be friends with my friend's friend. And I felt pretty lonely for a while. Like, they would have sleepovers and I'd be 2 doors down at my house not having a sleepover. I felt left out and lonely. So try to think of a time you felt lonely, maybe got left out of something. Number 15, my lonely page. Go ahead and turn to the last page of your packet that actually talks about these topics. Number 16, the bad mood page. This page should describe what puts you in a horrible mood. For me, I'm not in a bad mood often, but I think for me it's when people talk over me when I'm trying to talk. That over time gets me kind of angry, but I think that for the most part I stay out of that trouble. When my team loses, I get a little angry, and when I drive in a car, I get a little angry. I've been working on that though. My kids have been making me. So think of something that puts you in a bad mood, the bad mood page. And I've seen already many of you in bad moods, so that's one that most of you can do. Number 17 is a hard one to write about, the horrible illness page, but a lot of times kids will talk about things that they need to talk about. Maybe you were sick in the past and you want to write about that, but maybe someone else was sick and you want to write about that. So this page should describe a time when you or someone you loved suffered from illness. And we've had a lot of wonderful paragraphs come out of this about people talking about like loved ones that have had diseases that they've had to fight through, and sometimes they come out and they're healthy and awesome, and sometimes they're not. But writing about it helps you get that emotion out, and I'm all about that. So most people can write about this, the horrible illness page. For me, you know, I had pneumonia twice when I was when I was little, and I was in the hospital for weeks at a time. When I was in 2nd grade, or 1st grade, excuse me, I was in the hospital for 3 weeks, well, 3.5 weeks, and I was in an oxygen tent almost the entire time. So, and you couldn't see out of the oxygen tent, so that was horrible. But also I've had my aunt, my uncle, and my grandfather all passed away of having cancer, and those were all really bad times in my life that I could write about. Number 18, my loving father. Same thing goes for my loving mother. Obviously, you know, if you have a dad that you want to talk about, an uncle, a grandfather, a male influence on you, and we can get creative with mother and father. You know, you come and talk to me. You know, I know that every family has their different way of doing things. So, you know, however your family lives, if you come to me and say, this is what I want to write about instead of my loving father or my loving mother, I'm going to be open to that. So please, please, please share your ideas. I love when kids have awesome ideas. So number 18, my loving father page. And then number 19, my respect page. This one can go all over the place. This page should describe how you respect yourself or someone else. And I think really I look at other people who I respect and who earn my respect. My teammates, Miss Wismer, Miss McIntyre, Miss Marnick, who is now in Pittsburgh, but you'll get to see a little bit this year in some videos, and Mr. Hutch are people that I respect because they're hard workers and they're my friends. We all have different people that we respect, and there are different reasons why we respect them, but most of the time we respect them because they earn it. They're there when we need them to be, and they do what they say. It's hard to respect people who don't. So think about those people in your life that do what they say and are there for you, okay? Not necessarily taking care of you, but are dependable. Could be a friend, could be family, could be teachers, could be someone that is always there, okay? So number 19 is my respect page. You can talk about yourself. Like if you're a respectful kid, talk about how you're dependable and why you earn other people's respect. So number 19 is my respect page. And then number 20 is always my favorite because kids who tackle this one, it's a tough one. This is a page that should someone or something that you would protest for or against. Now listen to me. Please be respectful. The one thing I will tell you is that, you know, if you watch the news or have family that watches the news, it's kind of a crazy time right now in our country. Our country has been through times like this before. You know, as I'm recording this, it's 9/11, and obviously that day is an important day for lots of different reasons. We'll talk about that next week. We just didn't have time to talk about it today. But what I'm asking you to do is I want you to think about something, not someone. And I want you to talk about like why you would protest for or against it. I've had lots of ideas come in the past, whether it be, I had somebody write about people who protest going to Walmart because Walmart has companies, they have businesses overseas, and they, those countries don't have, that are making stuff for Walmart, don't have rules for labor, so kids can work, and they work for a month and make like $4 a month. That's not a joke. I've had kids protest like racial injustice. I've had kids protest people using alcohol. I've had kids protest drugs. I've had kids protest parts of school that they don't think is fair, but it has to be really well thought out for that. So talk to your parents about this one. Be brave. Like this is one that you can open my eyes up, but know what you're talking about. Okay, so be careful when you talk to mom and dad because you want to make sure that you're talking about something that you understand. So have a real conversation like with some adults, and you can always ask me, or you can ask Mr. Hutch or Miss Wismer or Miss McIntyre about these things as well. Like we'll give you a right down the line sort of conversation about anything that you want to talk about, if you want us to see if it's something that you should talk about. So that is number 20, my protest page. I'm always a little scared about that one. I've had people protest for guns and against guns. I've had people protest for free college and against free college. I've had people protest for free healthcare and for insurance healthcare, and all really thought out, and they were able to have a debate with me about it because a lot of times I want to see if kids really know what they're talking about. So don't be afraid to have like these really cool conversations about what you see on TV if you're seeing it or you hear your parents talking about it. Ask, you know, become thinkers. Listen to what people have to say about those things that you're most curious about, okay? So that's your top 20. You're going to be picking tomorrow, you're going to be picking 12 of these, and not 10, you're going to be picking 12, because sometimes we think we can write about something and we can't. We want to have a couple to fall back on. I do want to make note, again, please remember, if you write a paragraph about anything, football, for example, one paragraph about football, you can't write a single another paragraph about football. So if your best talent is playing football, you can't then decide to talk about your proudest moment was when you played football, okay? So you can only, so this is where it gets a little complicated. You have to really think things out, all right? So that's it. If you have any questions, you're welcome to shoot me an email. I should be back in school tomorrow. If I'm not, I will most definitely have another video for you so that I can help you through picking the process. It won't be nearly as long as 25 minutes. So please, please, please be awesome. Please work hard, and I will see you guys soon. Peace. Have fun with this, guys, all right? So remember, no homework. This is not homework. We were just going over it. But you might want to go home and think about which ones you want to do, okay? Tomorrow, you're going to have a little bit of homework with us, just a little bit, all right? Bye, guys.